I haven't planted this Morning Glory for several years now. It just keeps reseeding itself and coming back from when I planted it several years ago. Doing really good here, along with the marigold. Mystery lilies or resurrection lilies starting to bloom, also called magic lilies. There's marigolds and petunias. I believe this is probably bee balm. This is a hibiscus being attacked by Japanese beetles. Usually as soon as I spray one plant, they just move on to another one. So it's time to spray this one, I guess. Here's another one. There's those magic lilies getting ready to bloom. You notice how the stalk just comes up out of the ground without no foliage. The foliage comes in early spring and then dies back. And then in July, the flower stalk just shoots up. That's why it's often called a surprise lily. Here's some more over here. Looks like one got broken off. Probably a squirrel or a cat or something. That will just make the bulb stronger because it'll multiply. There was originally just one bulb there anyway. Here is another hibiscus out here. It's been blooming. See all these blooms that are coming on. There's some phlox down here I planted this year. Penstemon. Here's another magic lily out here blooming. They call them surprise lilies because they just come up and you didn't even know it was there unless you remember from last year. These are called Loosestrife. Ordinarily they bloom early in the spring and then they're done. So the fact that it's blooming right now confounds me. And I need to figure out what I did to make it bloom a second time. It bloomed early in the spring. So that's kind of nice that it can bloom twice like that. And the mystery lilies are blooming really good. Here's mystery lilies growing in with the hibiscus. Here's one just starting, and here's a bunch of them that have been blooming for a while now. This is moss roses, portulaca, some roses. Here's some more hibiscus. All these blooms coming on. And they bloom for a day. Here's yesterday's right here. Phlox I just planted. Here's some penstemon I just planted. Here's a mystery lily coming up right there. Mystery lilies growing in with the plumbago. Brachio, I think. I'm always constantly amazed by that I didn't plant this here. This is a bunny rabbit's ears. It's got really soft leaves, and it's like such a light gray that it stands out with. And what I'd like to do with it is dig it up and move it all along here for a border between the driveway and the flower bed. And but I didn't plant it here. It grew here all of its own. And I don't know whether it was from bits and pieces of it from stones I was moving around or what. But I know I used to have it up there in the flower bed right by the house underneath of that window years ago. And it just got to growing so much that I didn't even worry about it. And I don't know what I did, but I eventually didn't have any. And so I'm going to move it around in the spring, take extra good care of it so I don't kill it off this time. These hollyhocks should bloom this year. They are biennials, and so they bloom. They grow one year, bloom the next year, go to seed, and die back. But they drop so many seeds that lots of times when you have patches of them, it looks like they are perennials. My hardy glads are falling over, and I don't like to stake up plants. So I think I'm going to leave them out here, but maybe next year they won't fall over. I don't know. There's more of them over here. A mystery lily that keeps coming back. I think I've put those everywhere around the yard. These hibiscus here are going to be blooming here pretty soon. And one of the things I need to do is come out and cut back these resurrection lilies that are done blooming. Deadhead them. It's been growing here a few years too, and I got it from Brex. Here's what happens when you don't deadhead your lilies back. They start making seeds like this. And this hibiscus up here, some of these flowers are done and need to be cut back. It drops these spent blooms all over the place. I think tomorrow I'm going to start my moving around a bunch of plants for fall. My Liatris is blooming. It will go all the way down there. This honeysuckle is blooming again. I thought it was done for the year, but a lot of times all this rain, and these are berries from where it bloomed before. And this is all catmint over here. Looks like this hibiscus is going to be blooming for quite a while longer. I need to come out and deadhead all of these resurrection lilies. So that's the first thing I'm going to start doing tomorrow is moving plants and deadheading. This is Plumbago back up here against the house. That is a a really nice little ground cover that's been slowly taken over this area here. And I really like nice little blue flowers this time of year when not much else is blooming. This is that Loosestrife, and I've moved it all over the place in the garden too. But this time of the year, it gets to looking so raggedy that a lot of times I just cut it down. This is a hosta getting ready to bloom. Look at that. This lily needs to be deadheaded. Zinnias. And I grew these zinnias from seed I collected last year. Wow, look at how the cucumbers have grown just since the last time. This is a noxious weed I don't want. This is lamb's quarters. Don't want it. Yeah, this is just grass. So is that one. So yeah, I need to come out here tomorrow also and weed. I'm not really dressed for that now. These are cosmos that volunteered from where they were growing last year. I can't believe how things grow so much after a rain. These look, I think these are 4 o'clocks. I planted from seed this year. It's supposed to rain again today, like all afternoon. So I should have a lot of work weeding tomorrow. This is the new herb garden I started this year. And in the future, I'm not going to grow the kind of herbs that you sometimes see in an herb garden, like lavender. But rather than lavender and things like that, it's only going to be things you eat, like rosemary and sage and seasonings like that. This forget-me-not that volunteer here, it'll be nice, but I won't be planting it here. I'll just let it grow on its own. I might take some out front next year. That'd be kind of nice to have out front. And the cosmos, I might put those out front too, and hopefully they'll volunteer all over the place out there. Look at all this. All these just from where they were growing last year. So they're not perennials, but they reseed themselves so freely that it's almost like they were perennials. And the zinnias, I planted those here in a row here, but I didn't do a very good job because they're very spotty, but it was so dry this spring. Here's another one here. It was so dry this spring. A lot of the stuff didn't come up, so I need to maybe rethink. Here's some chives. Rethink some of the way I'm starting my seeds. Morning Glories coming up everywhere. This is Morning Glory right there. If you let it, it'll just cover everything else in your garden. These are blueberries. And these were all the strawberries I planted this year. They go clear back there under the cosmos. This is basil right here. This is hot peppers there. And here's all the irises that I just moved up here. Looks like somebody come along and dug them up. Wonder what animal did that for me and ate them. Who eats irises? That's a good question. Who eats irises? Look at that. Somebody come along and dug these up and ate them. That one there the most. Huh. I'll have to look that up. Probably some damn squirrel. And I forgot all these names. That's 4 o'clocks there. And I forgot these 2 names here. So I'll have to look those up. This is I'm just getting the grass out of here. These I planted seed here last year, and they've come back. I've been keeping them weeding and water this year, which I need to do. Isn't that funny how the weeds grow so much faster than the plant? Yeah, I might put some cherry tomatoes in here this year, besides cucumbers and tomatoes. I'll probably plant a lot of vegetables in here. I'm thinking that in the future I'm going to have, yeah, this is asparagus over here. Is my moonflowers going to be blooming here pretty soon. They're right here by the door, so it would be nice to come out the door and smell the blooms. And hummingbirds have been pretty busy with these honeysuckles. When we're sitting inside, especially, we can see them coming out and visiting all these little blooms. You can see the catnips out here. The catmint. Catmint is out here. It seems like it blooms just about all year. And this other plant I planted in here is doing really well. I thought the different shades of purple would go together good, because it's a light purple, almost red or something, with this catmint. And the Liatris is nearly done blooming. The daisies are looking really nice. Some sunflowers that the birds planted off of the bird feeder over there. Here's some phlox. That's another plant that seems to bloom a lot of the year. And this is salvia. I just planted that this year, actually. This too. The phlox I planted just this year also. Looks like this hibiscus going to bloom. I thought it was dead, but I think it just needs a lot of water. When I gave it enough water, it finally came back. So, live and learn, I guess. Here is Solomon seal. Just one stalk when I planted it, and now it's 3. So, hope that I get a lot more next year. And this hibiscus up here is looking really good, even though it has a smaller bloom than the one over there. Still is really good looking. A couple more blooms yet, come on. And this flower bed here, once you keep all the weeds out of it, it's get to looking really well. But I've noticed that this has different color blooms. Some are almost white, and other ones are more pink. It's kind of neat looking. I think next year I'm going to start pruning it back, even with I did a sidewalk here. And this Lantana has been doing so well out here. It starts here, way out to there, it's spread that much. So, but it's not hardy in our area. I don't know whether it's a tender perennial or an annual. A tender perennial is a plant that is perennial, like green peppers or something, but yet it's only hardy in certain zones. This ground here is so dry. You would never know I wet it so much yesterday. Seems like you can go out and pull weeds and always miss some. Look how dry it is now. And I was in here yesterday pulling all the weeds. This is all these moss roses have been doing really good. They're looking kind of wilted in the sun right now, though. It's been so hot. It cooled off a little bit for a few days. It's only about 85 now. For a few days there, it was so hot in the 90s, 95, 100. It was just hard to be out here working. These are some geraniums I planted in here. Geranium or pelargonium. That's a weed. Here's a begonia. And a yellow one. Pink one. It's not dry or soily, so I just watered it yesterday. It's what it's been like this summer. These are our coral bells. This is mackerel. Brunera macrophylla. And here's another geranium. This geranium should actually be out in full sun. They're full sun plants. This one is blooming. I think this is called Royal Standard, but I don't know the names of all the hostas I've got. Here's a bunch of these ones that are blooming. Hummingbirds love those. Usually they have a really good smell, but those don't really. This is bishop's weed or goutweed. It's a takeover plant. If you don't have a separate space for it, you would never want to put it in your garden. And these are zinnias. And these are cosmos. Butterflies and hummingbirds love zinnias. Well, aren't these moss roses pretty? Look at all that. It'd be nice to have this whole flower bed full of them. I'm going to plant more of them here next year. This is Monday, August 14th, and it looks like the Resurrection Lilies are about finished. This one needs to be deadheaded. Some of these I already have. These here. And isn't this hibiscus looking good? Look at that. I'm thinking next year I'm going to, when it first starts blooming, cut it off right here, even with, so it's not growing over the sidewalk. Everything here in this flower bed is doing really good. This is Lantana right here. There. It's just growing all over the place from some little start. And these Loosestrife is doing better right here than it has for years. And the honeysuckle, look at this honeysuckle blooming. I thought, evidently this blooms all year long. Just look at that. And the catmint over here. You've got the honeysuckle growing up in it. The honeysuckle's growing all over the ground in through here. And the Kansas gayflower here is doing really well. Can't say the name right now. Daisy here is doing really good. We've had a lot of rain lately. And that's just about done. All these were blooms right here. Here's these phlox. Here's a Resurrection Lily. Salvia. And here's another salvia right here. Here's another hibiscus. This is the first year this one here has bloomed. But it has lots of new blooms right there. The coral bells that's getting ready to bloom. This is a nice big coral bells here. Look at all the blooms that are coming on. Right there. I'll show it to you when it bloomed. On this 4 o'clock that volunteered is starting to bloom. Right there. I planted this a couple years ago. It's just been volunteering back every year. And this is a lupine that I planted last year. It's a perennial, and it came back. And this is columbine. That I planted last year, and it came back. Fall in the garden. Everything's almost done blooming. Plumbago is blooming. It always blooms in the fall. It's got these tiny blue flowers on it. And it's just spread all over the place in here. Right here, columbine. You'd probably be happier if I pulled up all this creeping Jenny around it. This is coral bells, and these are the blooms from it. And that's a weed. This is Morning Glory. All over the arch here. And all over the everything else. I haven't planted this Morning Glory for several years now. It just keeps reseeding itself and coming back from when I planted it several years ago. Russians are doing really good here, along with the marigolds. All these other, here's snapdragons. There's snapdragons right here. And marigolds. And here's nasturtiums. It's the bloom. Here's the leaves have these round shape here. Moonflowers. They're close relations to the Morning Glory. They're all in the same genus. Right there. These are forget-me-nots. And these are tomatoes. We got a bunch in the refrigerator. Well, here's this flower bed I planted this year, all from packages of seeds. It's doing really well. These Morning Glories are great. I love them. The Zinnias. These are more Zinnias over here. These are Cosmos right here. I don't know what those are. These are cornflowers back here. They look like a daisy. I mean, a black-eyed Susan.